Welcome back to my G1 Retro Reviews. Today we're taking a look at Countdown to Extinction, which is sort of the fourth part to last week's three-parter, The Ultimate Doom. In this episode, everyone is working on repairing the damage from the previous episodes when Starscream nearly destroys the planet again with one of Dr. Arkaville's inventions. We begin this episode with narrator Victor Caroli recapping the events of the Ultimate Doom three-parter. And I must say, I'm surprised. For one, because instead of simply reusing clips from the previous episodes, some of this is actually new animation here. And two, because the damage depicted in this episode seems much more catastrophic than anything we were shown in the previous episodes. I mean, this truly looks like a post-apocalyptic wasteland. Also, when the Autobots are repairing some of the damage, did this remind anyone else of the Rescue Bots and Rescue Bot recruits? And I guess the Autobots in Transformers Animated too. I like that we get to see the Autobots helping fix some of the damage that their war has caused. This episode also marks the first appearance of Frenzy in the G1 cartoon, as we see him pop out of a little manhole. Or wait, is it a bot-hole? Or a con-hole? Wait, that doesn't sound right. Well, anyways, he and the other Decepticons are working on repairing the Decepticon ship, the Victory. Yes, remember that this ship that they use as their base during these first couple seasons is not their original ship, the Nemesis, which crashed on Earth. No, they haven't found that ship yet. This was the one that they built on Earth and subsequently crashed thanks to Mirage. Why am I going on this tangent about what ship this is? Well, it might not be relevant to this episode, but it's worth reminding you for the next one. Anyways, so Skywarp, Thundercracker, Rumble, Frenzy, and Soundwave are all fighting when Megatron walks in. Which sounds like the setup for a joke, but it's not. Although I do find it kind of funny that all these characters, except for Thundercracker, are played by one man, the legendary Frank Welker. Man, you thought Scott McNeil had a lot of roles and fought with himself in Beast Wars. He's got nothing on Welker here. We then see Starscream and Dr. Arkaville at his secret lab.
I, Dr. Arkaville, genius of science, say, open sesame!
How original.
Nice Aladdin reference.
Open sesame!
Just kidding. I know the phrase originates from Alibaba and the 40 Thieves, but Aladdin's more recognizable. When Starscream tells Dr. Arkaville about his plan, he motions as if he's going to step on him. Weird, this is the second time in this episode where Seeker has threatened to step on someone smaller than they are. When the Decepticons are flying in this episode, I find it kind of funny the way they have their arms positioned. Normally we see them with their arms straight forward or sometimes at the side. But here we see Megatron shift his arms into an angled back position. And Soundwave is almost in a T-pose. It's like they're pretending to be airplanes. It's kinda cute. We even see some of them do little twirls in the air.
Why the aerial stunt show?
We then see the Autobots get stuck in quicksand. I wonder if they'll sink into an ancient temple like Whirl and Slash did in Rescue Bots Academy. Probably not.
Transform and pull out!
That's what she said!
Mirage knocks out Laserbeak with his missile, who then transforms back into his cassette mode, and after they get out of the quicksand, Jazz is able to play him on his car stereo. I just find it interesting that they were able to do this. It's not often that you see Autobots able to use Decepticons in their alt mode like this, and it's kind of foreshadowing for later in the episode. This also makes me wonder what if Blaster was here. Continuing the theme of light-up chests from the previous three-parter, The Ultimate Doom, we see that when Shockwave radios Megatron, his chest also lights up. Although this isn't exactly new. When Laserbeak radioed him in Fire in the Sky, his chest also lit up in the same way. And we end this episode with the iconic scene of Optimus Prime wielding Megatron in gun mode, and firing the exponential generator into space. Something that would be homaged in future toy releases. Starting with the 2003 book box reissue of G1 Starscream, which came with a bonus accessory, that of a specially remolded Optimus Prime fist that would let you use the included Megatron Gun Accessory with your G1 Optimus Prime as well. Then we had the original masterpiece Optimus Prime, who came with his own version of Megatron in gun mode. And subsequently, every re-release and repaint of that original MP1 mold would also include their own version of the Megatron gun. Unfortunately, that's where this homage ends, as MP10, MP44, nor any other Optimus Prime would come with a Megatron Gun Accessory. Although I suppose if you were lucky enough to grab one of the Centurion drone weaponizer sets, which does include a Megatron Gun Accessory, you could conceivably use that with any figure that has a 5mm hand port, including various Optimus Prime toys.
Hey, Prime! What do you think Megatron's gonna do to Starscream?
Nothing gentle, I would say.
That's what she said. That's what she said. That's what she said.
Good one.
This episode also marks the final appearance of Dr. Arkaville, at least in the cartoon. He would show up again in extended fiction, like the Takara Legends manga, but nothing really worth noting. It's also funny how Dr. Arkaville was also an accessory for the first masterpiece Starscream, but the remolded MP11 Starscream and other figures based on that mold, as well as the new MP52 Starscream, do not come with a Dr. Arkaville pilot accessory. It's a shame that this was his last appearance, because I think he would have made for an interesting character if he ever returned. Imagine if he came back as like a human supervillain and wanted revenge on the Decepticons for using him and turning him into a mechanical freak, as he put it. I think it would have been interesting if he came back and went after the Decepticons and the Autobots had to help stop him. Or, there are a couple stories in ancillary fiction where Dr. Arkaville creates a G1 Nemesis Prime. That would have been interesting to see too. Oh well, this was a pretty good episode of G1, with some very memorable lines in it.
You will go back to Earth to check it, Doctor.
And how do you propose I get there? No, on my roller skates?
What about you? What did you think of this episode of the original Transformers series? As always, let me know down in the comments. Remember to like, subscribe, and do all that other fun stuff. And I'll see you back here next time for the next episode of G1, A Plague of Insecticons. See you then.